Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. Hola, hola, hola. It's me, Sunshine Day, your spiritual living coach. What a grand and glorious day today is. And I call it grand and glorious because if you're watching this, if you are alive, then it is a grand and glorious day. And if it isn't so far, we can actually make it so. And I will talk a little bit about how to do that later. As you know, this is a spiritual remedy. It's conversation and meditation. And it is an opportunity for folks in recovery, folks recovering from the weapons of mass distraction, from those things that are actually taking us away from living our amazing, beautiful life. It is an opportunity for us to gather together through this public forum here to recognize that there are spiritual tools for our personal transformation. Now, what you will hear in the background is some roofing being done, but the show must go on. So I just appreciate that you are with me today because I see a world where clean and sober people are living their best life. And my mission is to provide spiritual tools and loving support for your personal transformation because I want to live my best life and I want you to live your best life. So this month, in the month of April, we've been talking about connectedness. And we've been talking about connectedness in many forms in terms of really looking at how I am connected, mind, body, spirit. We take a look as people in recovery, and sometimes we're told and we're taught that that there's something wrong with the thinking. That we are not necessarily seeing things in a way through our addiction or through our behaviors, that we're not necessarily seeing life from the fullness. And, in some areas, I agree with that. And in other areas, the jury is still out. And by that, I mean, we've been taught a particular way of thinking and being based on our cultures, based on what year we were born in and what was happening, based on our experiences, based on a lot of things. We've been taught how to think. We've been taught what to think. And what we haven't been taught is how to think for ourselves in terms of what is for the highest and the best of our well-being, of our connectedness, our mind, body, soul, our mind, body, spirit. And most recovery places, most programs, most things will actually have you focus on the mind and the body, getting your thinking in alignment with living a sober life, with living a life free from, those things that, whether it's food, whether it's drugs or alcohol, whether it's stress or anxiety, being free. Good morning to you, beloved. So glad you're with me today. I appreciate you being here. Got a lot of folks saying good morning, glad to be here. And I'm glad that you are here too. So, as we think about this idea of connectedness, there's a part that people don't necessarily talk about because they don't necessarily know about it. And in my years of studies, I have a master's degree in consciousness studies. In my years of studies, when we only address a life challenge from just the mind and the body, we are leaving out spirit, we're leaving out soul, we're leaving out that part of us that is the life force itself. And many, many times, you'll hear things like, think it all the way through. Is that what you really want to do? Or just physically leave. So this way you're not tempted by the substance or by, the food or whatever it is that we are, withdrawing from, and the things that we are abstaining from. But what about the spirit? What about our full connection, mind, body, spirit. What about that? And how is it that we can indeed actually recognize the fullness of who we are if we're only dealing with the condition of the mind and the body? And it is quite impossible to feel your whole self and feel yourself wholly, 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 feel your whole self when in fact we're not actually dealing with the whole self. And so this idea of connectedness is so important, and we've taken that topic out of my book, Begin Within. It's a playbook for living your genuine life. And one of the things that that I talk about in the playbook, and the reason I call it a playbook is because who wants to work? And for me, life is indeed a playful. It goes on this idea that I've been recently talking about, and I'll share about that and come back to this. This idea that I've been recently talking about, people continue to say often that life is a journey. And I know when I'm on a journey, I was in Puerto Rico this month. And, when I was on my journey to Puerto Rico, I wasn't like all about the journey, about the airplane ride and about whatever. It was about the destination. And too many times people live their life from this place of, oh, I can't wait to be clean and sober. I can't wait to have my house. I can't wait to, be at this place. And of course, they forget about the journey or what it takes to get there. And sometimes that analogy, using it as a journey, I don't want to necessarily, be thinking about the car ride there. No, I'm thinking about the destination. When I see life as like this journey, it's more about the destination, right? So what if we would have just switched that a little bit and to actually take our cue from nature? The world is evolving. The universe continues to unfold and express itself in a beautiful and magnificent way. And it's not headed to a destination. It's not like it's trying to get someplace so it can finally be. In fact, it is more playful in nature. Alan Watts says that the universe is playful in nature. I believe that it is playful in nature in the sense of that it is constantly just unfolding and being. It is this act of expressing and expression. And so when I look at my life, in terms of my life is on a daily basis, on a moment to moment basis, on a heartbeat to heartbeat basis, I'm simply expressing and unfolding that it is then where I can be fully present. Because when I see life as a journey, I'm already like at the destination place. I'm thinking about where I'm going to be. So when you think about it in terms of like dancing, right? When you're dancing, you're not thinking about your last pose or your last move. You're in the dance, right? And you're expressing and you're in it. And it's like, yeah, boom, boom. And in every moment you dance or that song or you're singing that song. And so when we look at life that way, that kind of a playful way that it is unfolding, that it is expressing, that it is being its fullest self at all times, just simply, being, then it's easier to be in the moment. Because it's like, yeah, I'm having a good time right now. I'm not thinking about when the song's over. I'm not thinking about when the club closes or I'm going home or, all of that. It's not about a destination, right? We enjoy. Thank you, Patty. Patty says, yes, enjoy the dance. And that's correct. So when we take it moment by moment like this and we enjoy the dance, we enjoy the moment right now, for me, that's a better way. I get a chance to be playful. I get a chance to play. Therefore, that's why I call this a playbook, a playbook. So we get to play in the discovery of a higher power, of life, of our recovery, of our, of our abstinence. And we get an opportunity to make choices and decisions based on our values. So the choices that I make are based on my values, based on what I believe and what it is that I want to experience in life. And, as someone who has experienced some sobriety and someone who has experienced a life of abstinence for quite some time, what I can share with you is that if I was only dealing with it and only doing it and only having the approach from the mind and the body standpoint, I would be missing out on so much. But my life is so rich because of the topic of connectedness, the connectedness of mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, that connection. And so the idea now is, is what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And what is the desire of my heart, not of the physical heart, but I'm talking about in connecting with spirit. There is this great I am right where I am. So I use this all the time. And, many people sometimes don't get the point of it, but here's the point. What is the difference between you and a corpse? A corpse has a brain. A corpse has the body. But there's something that the corpse does not have that you have. And what is that? And that is life, the breath of life, life itself. The corpse is lifeless. So there is a power and a presence within you. Within you. There's a power and presence within you. That is higher power. That is life itself. That is that spirit. That is that energizing force. Buenos dias, Elsa. I so love that I have a bilingual community. Buenos dias, Elsa. She says, baile como si nadie te está viendo. Dance as if no one is watching. ¿Verdad que sí? And going back to that dance, that is exactly it. Living so freely. Now, the key is to connect with that life force within you. I know I feel so alive when I'm dancing or when I'm singing, that there's something beyond just my mind and my body that I'm connected with. And the key here is to connect with that higher power, to connect with that infinite intelligence. Now, I'll tell you something about this life force that is within you, that is living you right now. And that is that when all three are in alignment, and that's my work to do, is to have the mind, body, spirit alignment, that this life force, this power and presence that animates my body, that life that I have, that I am, that's who I am. And when I consciously connect with that, when I align my thoughts with this life force and then bring my body into alignment with it as well, I am living my best life. And that's why that connectedness should not be put to the side or not be minimized, because too many times in our human experience, we think that, it's the person who's the most intelligent or it's the person who's the strongest. But it is, for me, the person who is the most integrated, meaning if this life, meaning the life force, the prana, the energy, right, that a corpse doesn't have, that we have because we are alive. If this life force is so powerful to turn on, excuse me, to turn on this body, right? If you think about a corpse, it's not on, it's just deteriorating. But to think about the life force that animates this body, that actually turns on all of the systems, that has all of that connectedness, that is really the source of all life. Like when I am in alignment, consciously in alignment with that life, it is my internal GPS, if you will. It is that life force to where I confer and consult and spend time just simply being with that life force. Because it's who I am. It's kind of like, when people go, oh, I know you like I know the back of my hand. How many people actually really know the back of their hand? How many people have actually examined it and know where any scars are, or how the veins and ligaments go, or how long your fingers are, or have you examined your fingernail beds? Are you really knowing this life force within you? Because the life force within you is life at its purest, at its most powerful expression, and life wants to live. The whole purpose of life is to live and to express. And when we just become these thinking beings, this is just a practice in mentation. It's just, your even just your brain can't even see. Your brain depends upon your eyes, depends upon your nose, depends upon your skin, your tongue to taste, your ears to hear. Your brain depends upon these 5 senses to give it information so it can know what's happening out here in the world. But it's stuck behind this bony cranium. And yet sometimes we depend so fully on our brain to dictate to us how to live. And yet it's even bigger than that. It is when we're totally connected, it is a matter of consciousness. A matter of consciousness, and developing our consciousness and using consciousness as a way to really live fully, free from the weapons of mass distraction, right? Free from the drugs, the alcohol, the overeating, the undereating, the pills, free from the anxiety and the fear and the depression. That when we actually begin to practice connecting and being connected and being wholly ourselves, that is when we get an opportunity to live our best life. Now, if you can imagine a stool with 3 legs, right, or a tripod, imagine that our life is this tripod, but we're not using one of the legs. What happens to that stool or that tripod? It cannot stand, and it will not stand long. You might be able to balance it for a minute, but because of the way it's designed, it will fall. And the same is with us. If you find that you have been living life with like this low grade fever, especially for those in recovery, especially for those of you who are trying to be successful in life and do things beyond your wildest dreams, if you find that you've been living life and yet there's something missing, the something missing is probably your connection with that indwelling power and presence. And the idea now is to become so connected, to actually use the tripod, the 3-legged stool. It is that, because once all 3 legs are secure and you can actually sit on it without fear of falling. Who of you would sit on a two-legged stool that's supposed to be three-legged? It'd be like, nah, that's not secure. I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to get hurt. But yet we don't see it that way for ourselves, that when I'm only focusing on my mind and my body, and I'm disregarding spirit, I'm disregarding the life essence, the life force that is living me right now, I am only in for hurt and for incompletion. And so there's a couple of steps that that I'm suggesting that we practice here. One is just kind of checking in with yourself in the most gentle way, not in a way that's be like beating yourself up. This is not about beating yourself up, but this is about recovering, right? And recovery. And so here's what we have an opportunity to do is just kind of check in with ourselves. If we were to really look and check in and go, hey, you know what? I've been eating well, been having salads with a protein, and I'm drinking lots of water every day because I've been listening to Sunshine and been drinking that, that glass of water that's by my bedside late at night. And so in the morning, it's there for me to hydrate and to put the first thing in my body, and having that be water, right? As we're taking care of our body, as we're learning or we're working, we're out in the working world and we're doing our jobs and we're, doing, using our minds for certain things, but am I actually then taking time to actually connect with the most important connection that's available to me? And that's my life itself, that indwelling power and presence that animates my body. And how often am I doing that? Am I doing that when I'm walking out in nature? Am I recognizing the power and the presence that is living me, that is life itself? Do I see it out in nature? Do I see it in my four-leggeds, my fur babies? Do I see it in other people? Am I recognizing this life essence within me? Or am I actually ignoring that and not necessarily tapping into that? So, the other way to do that is also to begin to pay attention to the quality of your thoughts. When we pay attention to the quality of our thoughts kind of give us an indication as to what our beliefs are. And so if we're constantly angry, upset, hurt, paranoid, if we're constantly like cursing people out, pay attention to the quality of your thoughts. Are you thinking all the time that life is for me or that life is against me? Are you thinking that life is easy or that life is hard? And, and you got to do this and you got to do that and I got to do this and da, da, da. Paying attention to the quality of our thoughts gives us an indication as to whether we are in alignment with the utmost high for ourselves. What is the highest and the best is really what I want to say, right? And, in that, when you're paying attention to the quality of your thoughts, if it's a thought that you don't really want to keep thinking, thoughts after a while, you keep thinking them and they actually become habits and beliefs and ways of being and become our destiny. So when we're paying attention to the quality of our thoughts, you can also then make the connection and ask, well, how is this thought making me feel? Is my face all scrunched up? Are my eyebrows down? Do I feel tension in my forehead and in my scalp? Is my neck all jacked because I keep having these thoughts about how that person did me wrong and this and that and the other thing? So if I'm having these thoughts, how is it that it's feeling in my body, right? And notice that connection there, the mind-body connection, right? But then take that a step further and ask, what is the truth about this power and this presence that is living me? And the truth about the power and the presence that is living me is that it is perfect, that it is powerful, that it is everywhere present. Because that thing that animates me is that thing that animates you. So there's what we have in common. Like, the life force in me is the life force that moves the ocean and the planets, and that is in you, that is in birds, that is in ants. It's that life force. And what the truth is of that life force is that life force is whole, perfect, and complete. And to the degree in which I connect to that I am whole, perfect, and complete, that there's a part of me that is whole, perfect, and complete. And then I begin to align my thought and my body with that. No wonder then it's so easy to say no to drugs, to alcohol, to overeating, to putting sugar and putting all kinds of stuff in our bodies that is not for our highest good. Because when we tap into this life force within me is whole, perfect, and complete. Therefore, to the degree in which I know that that's my truth, that is my essence. And so I align with that. And I get an opportunity to say no to what doesn't align with that. Yes, Peggy Moore, I am whole, perfect, and complete. And so as I align with that, then of course I don't need the alcohol, the drugs, the sugar, those things that are no longer good for me, because I am already whole, perfect, and complete. And I want to continue to know that, affirm that, and only put into my body temple and into my mental temple that which is in alignment with that. So I've said a lot, and this is exciting for me. This is what I love to do as your spiritual living coach, especially for those folks in recovery. I want to invite you to head over to my website, spiritualremedy.com, where you can get more information as to how to have even more intimate and how to integrate this and how to actually have me as your spiritual coach on a regular basis. But before we sign off, let's just take a moment to just pause. And in this pause, as you close your eyes, if you can do so safely, just notice how good it felt to even believe or to begin to imagine your wholeness, to imagine the perfection that is living as you right now. And even just that simple pause is an act of you connecting with that life force within you. You might even say, I want to know this life force within me. I want to know this life force within me. And gently open your eyes again and recognize that, life is to be lived fully. Fully. Not with hesitation, but as we dance that dance of life, unencumbered, just like nobody is watching. It's so important to just have that connection. Thanks for watching today. And our conversation next month, in the month of May, is going to be on faith. Now, everybody has 100% faith all the time. No one ever loses their faith. And don't think we're going to be talking about faith from religion. We're going to be talking about faith from our human perspective. And it's going to be an amazing time together. So I look forward to seeing you all next Monday. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Peggy and Patty and Elsa. Thank you all, D-Train. Thank you so much. All of the Facebook viewers, thank you so much for being here with me today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, know that you are loved.
Celebrate life. You celebrate your life. Celebrate the memories, the birds and the trees, the rejoice.